Yeah, I guess you could say ships have always held kind of a power over me. And growing up, I couldn't get enough of them. I'd hang out by the pads any chance I got and listen to the pilots swap stories. My dad used to tell me, you weren't born, you landed. But yeah, there was always something about them.
These aren't graveyards to me. No, they're a testament of life. Think about all the lives that touched this one ship before it got to this place. It's crazy, right? And there are a few things in this universe that have that kind of power.
To me, it always comes down to the people who flew it. The modifications that they made to make it theirs. I mean, we could find 10 Connie wrecks, and even though the layout's going to be the same, every single one of them is going to be different. There'll be some kind of lingering presence to connect you to the people who lived on it.
When I look at a ship, I see a person. Now, I know when people find these wrecks, all they see are mounds of scrap or a payday or whatever. But to me, maybe it was just growing up on a dusty rock, but a ship was freedom. There was limitless possibility.
Yes, I'm back. But I forgot to check if I could get back online. I like to try if I can use the scanner on the ship. If I fly to this Daymar moon and fly to this outpost, I can maybe make a scan and get it on my map, the location. But I'm crashing now, but you never know, I can maybe get back. We got 1 hour and 20 minutes left, so I have to try. But I think I will watch. I got 1 hour and 10 minutes. 1 hour and 80 minutes left on memory card. I think I just watch this Star Maps, and then I will watch Netflix and watch for Citaro is going online later maybe. I think I just crashed, but you never know. But a few days ago it has been crashing for like 2 days, and I got a reply from the support, Star Citizen support, and asked me to do a lot of stuff, complicated stuff, to get some files, information, and lots of stuff I don't know how to do. Long reply, but that was just a standard reply they have copied. Yes, it's a copy-paste reply that probably is sent to many thousand. But I have been able to get back online after some times, always, but the longest, that was 2 days, I was not able to get online. Crash again, yes. address handle public access. Yes, I think that was the Helios system. We should have a look. And this is a very big, very big planet. We have a jump point very close to the sun. Helios 1, terrestrial and rocky, a barren, coreless world whose proximity to the sun makes it limited resource difficult to access. It's very close to the sun. And in the green zone we have a space station. Yes, let's say planet. That's maybe a tiny planet. Yes, I start to get tired. I have to give up, click this, because I cannot click this. It says it's a planet, but it shows a space station. Hypahetus Station, a restricted access military station in orbit around Helios 2 that is frequent use by the Navy training. So we must have a very tiny planet. Cannot see that on the map. Helios 3. Gas giants, a large hydrogen-rich gas giants. And the 4. Ice planets, yes, somebody live there. Helios 4 has been completely reserved for military use by the UEE and house numerous space and classified. Okay. So this is a secret planet with military. And maybe we have a tiny planet, but I cannot click it. Yes. I give up, click this. Let's see what they are saying about Helios.
I'm Sherry Heiberg. Welcome to another edition of Loremaker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you've never seen Loremaker's Guide to the Galaxy, it is a show we do here at Star Citizen, where a member of the lore team, which is me, including 3 other talented people, who go over the lore and the science behind all the systems that we have created for you, the players. And this week we will be exploring the system Helios. So let's go to it. Zoom out. And then we're going to zoom back in, and your whole screen is going to be filled with a giant star. That is on purpose. This type of star is called a main sequence type B star. It's the second most massive main sequence star that we know of. It burns blue-white, or, neon blue in this instance, with, crazy lines. And it is the star at the center of Helios. So this system here, it is 4 planets. The star at the center of the system is a little bit peculiar, and it has the honor of being the only system to have been officially discovered by the Advocacy. However, it was technically discovered by a band of outlaws who call themselves, wait for it, the Daybreak Marauders. Wow, what a name. They discovered the jump point themselves, and they kept it secret from Discovery, and they would use it as a way to escape from authorities after robbing convoys in the Ellis system. So what they would do is they would rob people in Ellis, and then they would jump into the Tyrannus system, and then from there they would disappear into the jump point that they had discovered into Helios. And no one could track them, no one knew where they were, because as far as anyone else knew, there was not a jump point to Helios, as no one knew it existed yet. Now, the Advocacy finally got involved in chasing down these bandits once they drove a shipping company to bankruptcy called Uros Shipping Concern. And the names of the Advocacy agents who were tasked with it, they were called Avon Dorville and Gia Trask. They tracked the Marauders for months until they were able to finally follow them into Tyrannus, and then they were able to see them disappear into this jump point, which they then got the credit for discovering, and the Marauders were rewarded with jail because they were thieves. That's some general background of the system right there, a little bit of history behind it. Now I want to get into the star. Like I said, it's a Type B star, blue-white, very massive. They're pretty rare stars. About 1 in 800 main sequence stars are Type B. With that would translate to a percentage of 0.125%. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's 0.125%, which is incredibly rare. So this is one of the only Type Bs we have in the game. And this star is particularly special because it's a peculiar, which means it has bands of unusual elements in it. In this case, it has bands of helium. And because of this peculiarity, it also has incredibly high solar winds, which messes with ship sensors when you go into the system. This, of course, was one of the things that made it attractive to the Daybreak Marauders. Ooh. And has made it attractive on a long term to the UEE military, who have a base here. So let's zoom out very far away from the star, and we'll have a look at the first planet, Helios 1. It's a little tiny planetary, little terrestrial planet. I guess I would kind of compare it to Mercury. It's small. It doesn't have much going for it. It has a little bit of mineral deposits, but other than that, it's a little bit uninteresting because it's dangerous to do mining there. It's so close to the sun and so prevalent to the insane solar winds and all the radiation and whatever you would get from a star this massive and powerful in the middle of the system that it's pretty dangerous to mine there. That said,
So I maybe have internet connection problems. It used to help just to refresh, start again.
Military who have a base here. So let's zoom out very far away from the star, and we'll have a look at the first planet, Helios 1. It's a little tiny planetary, little terrestrial planet. I guess I would kind of compare it to Mercury. It's small. It doesn't have much going for it. It has a little bit of mineral deposits, but other than that, it's a little bit uninteresting because it's dangerous to do mining there. It's so close to the sun and so prevalent to the like insane solar winds and all the radiation and whatever you would get from a star this massive and powerful in the middle of the system that it's pretty dangerous to mine there. That said, it once came to fame because a scientific expedition crashed to the surface, and the 6 surviving scientists had to be rescued in a very short period of time by the military garrison that's established in the system. So they were able to retrofit their ships and get to the planet in record time, and this was all broadcast live on vids all over the UEE, so it enjoyed its like 15 seconds of fame. After that point, they really didn't think too much of it anymore. But really, the main attractive point in the system is going to be Helios 2, Tangaroa. It's located right near the beginning of the green zone. It's got a little moon here. Hi, little moon. But we want to look more closely at the planet. Tangaroa is an ocean planet. It has very few land masses, partially because the tectonic activity on the planet is so, well, active, that islands form and dissolve in very, very short periods of time. This is partially caused because the planet it's got low density, and it's got a moon that orbits very closely and very densely and very quickly. So lots of tectonic activity, land masses that form and go away, and a very, very big and interesting ocean. Starting like swerving around a little bit. Yeah, also let me here. Most of the population is contained in the ice caps. That's where the permanent settlements are, because, you know, it's ice. It's not going to really go anywhere as long as they don't overly destroy the environment. The oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere is maintained by the healthy population of plankton all over the planet. There are a few settlements that are mainly consisting of like engineers and scientists who do work with the military outpost in the system, which we'll get to in a minute. It is kind of like a trend among the rich population in the UEE to build elaborate homes on the quickly dissolving islands. And you're like, ooh, look at me, I'm so rich, I can afford to build this amazing home that I know is going to be destroyed, but that doesn't matter. Ha ha ha. Who understands them? I don't. The other settlements on the the other settlements on Tangaroa are going to be some not underground, but underwater ones. Like there's some permanent underwater settlements. But again, most of the settlements on the planet are on the poles. And it's also, I forgot to mention this, Tangaroa is also a major tourist attraction because the tectonic activity and the moon all come together not only to create volcanoes and earthquakes, but incredible waves that can be up to 1,000 feet. Subsurfers go there to try out their craft. It's not recommended that you actually surf the waves on a real surfboard without, protection. But some people do it anyway because we're people and that's what we do. So let's zoom out again here and go on to, let's see. Oh, actually, I almost forgot this. I don't want to forget Hephaestus Station, which is located all the way over here. Hello. It's a little military outpost. It's the main security checkpoint for the system. They work closely with the base on Helios 4. And if you're a merchant, if you want to sell luxury goods, this is a good place to stop because the people who are stationed here are always hungry for something different. They get most of their supplies from the surface of Tangaroa, which is fine. But who doesn't want some good Terra beef now and then, right? All right, so let's move over here. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, there we go. There's Helios 3. Lovely. Now, Helios 3 is a gas giant. It is, in fact, one of the most massive gas giants that has been discovered so far in the known galaxy. It is about 3 times as big as Jupiter, radius-wise. Let me just double-check something here. Yes, it is a very friendly location if you want to harvest hydrogen. It doesn't have a particularly interesting atmosphere. It's very solidly colored. If you like stripes, you're not going to like Helios 3, but if you like solid, calming colors, Helios 3 is the place for thee. Anyway, now that we've gotten that bad joke out of my system, because the planet is so massive, because it's on the outer edge of size of gas giants discovered, it does attract a lot of scientific interest. And so you'll have little scientific expeditions coming to Helios 3 to study it and figure out how it got so big, why it formed in the first place, history, all that. All right, I think I remember seeing Helios 4 over here. Yeah, here we go. Now, Helios 4 is an ice planet, kind of like Pluto, except that it's actually a planet. It's mostly rock and ice. It hasn't been terraformed because that would be more or less impossible, but it does have a lot of settlements on the surface in the form of environmentally controlled domes that were put there by the UEE. So it's a military-based planet, more or less. The reason that this was done is because of the solar winds in the system. A lot of ship sensors are scrambled, so it's a really good place to do like any kind of activity that you don't necessarily want to be widely broadcast. So, in the military's eyes, this is a pretty good place to be. Now, that said, it is considered a dumping ground for people who make trouble. It's kind of like it's where you go if the end of your career is here. They don't really know what to do with you, but they definitely want you out and not causing trouble for anybody. Which doesn't really make too much sense considering why these bases were formed in the first place. So, publicly, as I said, dumping ground. Public opinion, however, seems to think it's a place for any number of things, like a secret Black Ops base, or a place for biological warfare experimentation, or a place for covert espionage activities. The list goes on. But only the UEE truly knows. All right, that's it for Helios. I think it's a pretty interesting system, a peculiar system, if you will, just like a star. Remember, if you go there, to pay attention to your ship's sensors because the solar winds can and will mess with them. And if you don't pay too close attention, you may be ambushed by, perhaps, a marauder. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen Starmap,
this is Chris Roberts.
please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.
So the next is this Banshee system. But I record 5 hours this, so I start to get tired. But let's just continue 1 hour more, then I can empty my memory card again. Yes, that's the Banshee planet.